Just when we thought the afternoon's news was all done and dusted, we get an official announcement that John Murtough has stepped down as his position of sporting director at Manchester United. Darren Fletcher will keep his role and is thought highly of at Manchester United. We've touched on this before with the club and INEOS looking at Fletcher and a new role for him. The other news on top of that is all breaking from The Athletic. We should announce as well that Manchester United are now looking at bringing Jason Wilcox in the next few weeks. It will definitely be announced, according to sources, before the season ends. So Murtough out, Wilcox in. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. We're just bringing you the breaking news that has just come out now over the last 20 minutes that Murtough has officially left Manchester United. Jason Wilcox is going to be coming in as our new director as well. This is all moving very fast for INEOS right now. Obviously, everything trying to be put in place, it would seem, before the end of the season. Let's get into the news and where this broke from and bring up the lines from The Athletic that came out earlier on. There's quite a few. First of all, it was announced that Manchester United were parting ways with John Murtough. Manchester United football director John Murtough has stepped down from his post and will leave the club this week. So as soon as this week, officially, John Murtough, the last of the Mohicans, you could say, the last of the old school, the old crew of what has been going wrong at Manchester United. First it was Woodward, then it was Judge, then it was Arnold, and now the last one of the bad crop that has seen Manchester United over this era of disappointment and disaster behind the scenes of the football club. He is now gone, officially leaving his post at Manchester United this week. It was rumoured that there was going to be another role offered to him at the club, but it had been decided that both parties want to part ways, and obviously it works best for him, it works best for the club. He wanted more power and more of an important role at Manchester United, which wasn't being offered by INEOS. So you could say a cutthroat move from INEOS. Got their situation sorted as quickly as possible with Murtough, made it clear to the staff at the football club that they are looking to make moves as quickly as possible and get everything set up for what is going to be one hell of a summer. We were talking about it earlier on today, about how important it is with the amount of work that needs to be done in this summer for INEOS to actually accomplish getting United back to where they need to in that 3-year period. It only works if everything is in place and they are ready, and this is another piece done and dusted, it would seem, right now. Murtough, official, everybody. He has left Manchester United. He will be gone as of this week, and then moves to speed up the process of bringing Jason Wilcox in from Southampton. Starts immediately. That news came straight from the Murtough news, and The Athletic dropping the next one, which was what I just said. Manchester United hope Jason Wilcox will start work as technical director in the coming weeks, provided an agreement can be reached with Southampton on compensation. That is being said to have been progressing nicely and now working towards being all done and dusted before the start of the new campaign. The end of this season. Darren Fletcher remains Manchester United's technical director at present, and the club wants him to stay under an alternative title, which is not finalised yet. So Fletcher is being replaced by not by Murtough, so Murtaugh's role is gone. That's going to be taken. We're thinking, obviously, when you're looking at the rumours going around, Murtaugh's role is probably going to be what Dan Ashworth is taking. Fletcher is being moved aside to another role at the club for Jason Wilcox to then step in. So we'll have pretty much Jason Wilcox running alongside, I'm guessing, Darren Fletcher, and another sort of changed up role in the youth academy setup. I think more to be, I don't know where else he would go actually. Well, we'll wait and see and what happens, but I can only assume it's a similar role as what he's doing, but not as important and not calling as many shots. But yeah, Wilcox in, Fletcher being moved aside, and John Murtough 100% out of the door, never to be seen again at well, he'll probably be seen again, but in an important way, not to be seen again at Manchester United. Flash Fletcher has also said Manchester United hope Jason Wilcox can start his role as technical director before the end of the season. So yes, guys, that is your breaking news as it is happening here on Forever United TV. We like to bring you all of the information as it comes. I didn't think anything else was going to happen today, but yeah, and United, I told you, hold on to your hearts, be ready for anything to happen at any point going forward from now until the end of the season. Like I told you, things will be working on behind the scenes. That will be players as well. We probably won't hear about the player news as much as we have with the staffing situation at United, for instance, like what we're getting now with this. But Get your comments in right now. All I want to know, guys, is how you feel about this announcement. First of all, that Murtough is gone and Wilcox is coming in. How does that make you feel, ultimately? Just tell me your emotion right now. I want to know. Get in the chats. Let me know, everybody. Fletcher, do you think the under-18s are any good, Fletcher? Yes, okay. New contract for you. I don't know. Like, if you're talking jobs for the boys, I think Phil Jones is doing an all right role there in an all right role there in the under-18s. They're a pretty decent record. What will happen to Fletcher? Well, we don't know for the full announcement, Nilanjan. It's going to be announced by the club, I think, when everyone is in place. But Fletcher is staying. There is another role for him at the club. He's going nowhere. Great news, says Gehern. I think they're like Fletcher, apparently. And his kids in the academy. I mean, Fletcher, both his sons are in the under-18 setup right now. I don't think that is necessarily why Manchester United are keeping him. We have a super chat in from Karen Took the Kids. Fletcher, next. Jobs for the boys. It needs to end. There's a reason Paul Dickhoff isn't director of football at Manchester City. We need best in class to be considered a serious club again. I understand what you're saying, Karen, with that. Thank you very much for your super chat. I think Fletcher's been moved into a less important role. I think Fletcher is thought of highly by the club. He does speak well and does come across very well. I'm not saying that's what meets the role and what we need. You're right. It has to be best in class. I think Murtough going and Fletcher staying, I've not got so much of an issue with that. I think it was the role of Darren Fletcher. I liken Darren Fletcher to Scott McTominay. Like, I don't necessarily want him to definitely go. I just think there's a better role for him at the club in Fletcher. Like Scott McTominay, if he wants to be that impact player off the bench, I'm all happy for him to stay. I am. I think there is a place for him at the club. I think Fletcher is on that in terms of the comparison and the staffing situation at Manchester United. So the big news is I don't think we need to worry about Fletcher. He has been moved from that role and is being downgraded. Let's say that. It's not as important. And Wilcox, a man very experienced in that role at a couple of different clubs now, one being Manchester City at the academy level and then for a short time at Southampton, which we're dealing with now as the sporting director. So that is good. Murtough gone. I think the next one, obviously, is going to be Dan Ashworth to replace John Murtough. That's my guess on how this is all panning out. I think this is how we can look at it. Getting says, more power for what? He's useless at his job. He created the stupid wages and crap contracts. You're talking to someone else there? I'm not sure. Good that it all happened without too much fuss in the end with Wilcox. Well, maybe because we don't know yet. The compensation hasn't been agreed. That isn't official yet. But according to also, like, The Athletic wouldn't come out. I think David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell both coming out with this story that Wilcox is looking to be moved in very, very quickly. Hopefully before the end of the season. As we know, we've got less than 2 months left of this season now, so it's going to happen in the next coming weeks. I think they are confident that it will happen, and we will see a Mr. Wilcox through the door. What happens with Dan Ashworth, I do not know, but Omar Barada, Wilcox in, it is moving. I think one more piece of the puzzle to fix, the Dan Ashworth side of things, and then I think we are looking pretty good to go. These are lads that couldn't make it as pundits, so now they're in charge of big decisions at our club. Nah, I don't think they are in charge of big decisions anymore. I think they was, Karen, you're right, but they've changed this now. Like, Darren Fletcher, I think, at the academy level is a very good appointment with no real importance to the club. I think his experience is definitely warranted there because he's a man that's been there, done it, come through that system, and has a wealth of experience in that area. Take him away from the limelight and the big boy jobs, put people in position that really know that role, and I think then you cracks it. I think that's where we're going with this, and I think that's ultimately what the aim is with INEOS. Like, I've seen John Murtough completely demolish the transfer structure at this football club alongside Woodward, Judge, and every other member that was part of that crony crew, let's call them that, because they did absolutely destroy Manchester United and left INEOS with the mess that we're in right now. Straight away, I think the positive with INEOS is that they've noticed this. They have accepted that this is a problem and are making moves straight away. They are cutting jobs for people that have failed. So straight up, like we've seen Arnold go, we've seen Murtough go now. Like, nobody would have thought that this was happening. Nobody could have foreseen this 18 months ago for Manchester United. What has happened has been nothing short of fast-flowing craziness. Like, as soon as the announcement was made by INEOS, everything has moved rapidly. And hopefully, that is a sign of how everything else will go going forward as well. Murtough's gone. Maybe there is a God. YouTube is crap with notifications. I bumped into this live, says Great. Yeah, it was sort of a breaking news when you don't maybe get the notifications unless it's half an hour before. So anyone waiting for a notification, it probably wouldn't get it. What have we got? Our medical department should be next in line, says Nilanjan. Probably. Fletcher is great, but we need to move on. He hasn't even in the starting 11. Wasn't even in the starting 11. Not sure. I mean, I'm not talking about Fletcher here as a player. I'm talking about Fletcher and what his role is at the football club. Like, I do think that Fletcher has got a position here at United. I think he can prosper, and I think we can get the benefit out of Fletcher being at the football club. So I'm happy with that side of things. I haven't really got an issue with that. I haven't. I can understand people's argument, like jobs for the boys still. Why is everybody not going? Well, Fletcher didn't have a massive say on a lot of things, importance-wise, in terms of bringing players in. That was mainly Murtough and Erik ten Hag. So any sort of anger vexed at Fletcher, I think we can move that aside and not worry about that too much. I think we just need to look at the positive in this news that has come out today, that Murtough was the big problem. Murtough definitely now is gone, and that is this week. That is what the party poppers and bunting need to be popped out for this afternoon, guys. It really is. That's the big news. Fletcher aside, don't worry about that as much, is what I'm saying. But Murtough definitely gone. A decade of just turmoil and carnage. Well, Murtough has been in position at Manchester United. He's over. Another era, reign, over. That's what we need to look at. This is a massive plus for Manchester United right now. Murtough gone. Wilcox in. Ashworth in after Wilcox, it would seem. Barada already in situ, raring to go when the season finishes. We're almost there. The structure is almost in place. All that's left for them to do then is then start putting that squad in place and building Manchester United on the pitch again. Priority number one. Then people, Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, everyone else, the coaches, the manager, get on with getting this sorted and getting these players through the door and the players out. Let Sir Jim Radcliffe, David Brailsford deal with the other stuff and the task force that is. Let them build the stadium and dealing with it. So yes, that's how I see it happening. That's how I see this being structured. And I'm just thankful that we are actually managing to get some of this probably done and get on with what is really necessary right now. Like, it's important, the speed of this and how it happens, I feel. And I think that's coming across in INEOS' approach right now. Graham says The Athletic is getting the big story. This is why I am ignoring Mark Ogden on the manager rumours. I mean, I've spoken to members of The Athletic and they've said there's no rush with the manager situation. There isn't a rush with the manager situation in terms of what we're seeing right now, because Ten Hag is going to be in situ until the end of the season. Everyone knows that. So the rumours around the managers, obviously we've heard about Amorim now having a verbal agreement with Liverpool, so there's one name off the list. So if Liverpool are sorted, there's no real rush for United to worry about Liverpool taking a manager now away from United. So that has sort of eased as well. He will get to the end of the season. So FA Cup, barring we don't have a catastrophe against Coventry, he's all set to be Erik ten Hag's last game if he is going. So no rush, no panic, but things will be happening behind the scenes. I do believe that they will be keeping the manager one. I think the reason why we're seeing so many names brandished around for the manager is simply because they're trying to, I think, deliberately get everyone guessing. Like, you cannot have this many names in the pot. Like, we cannot be talking to all of these managers. Like, I think the names have been mixed up. No one's got a clue who's coming in. The Southgate rumours have died off. Now the international break sort of drifted away. I think Amorim now going to Liverpool, that's done and dusted. I think we'll find out in due course that United have been talking to someone, and it is set in stone. My own opinion on that. That's not what's been said. I just think United will have, and INEOS will know who is coming in. And I think we'll just hear about it when the time is right, which will be the last week of the season. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one, I would say. But, yeah, back to everything that's going on. If you are just joining us now, the breaking news coming out of The Athletic today from Laurie Whitwell and David Ornstein is that John Murtough, Manchester United sporting director, will leave the football club this week. He has stepped down from his role. Jason Wilcox will come into Darren Fletcher's role, and Darren Fletcher will be moved down into another position at the football club. Not up, but down. Nothing to worry about. Obviously, the role left by John Murtough will be taken by Dan Ashworth when the whole Newcastle compensation debacle has been resolved. But compensation being the topic is why Wilcox isn't fully in yet. Romano has come out and said that Wilcox is going to be here soon. The Athletic have come out and said that it's going to be done in the next few weeks. A few other outlets have said exactly the same thing now. So this is real. This is happening, and Manchester United again have made moves behind the scenes. Let's hope, for our sakes, that this is how we move when it comes to the playing staff as well. Because everyone that's failed behind the scenes has been moved on by INEOS. And I just hope that they take that same cutthroat approach to the playing staff that has failed. We're already hearing rumours about the manager side of things, so it does look like they are true to their word and they're taking their business model and how they cut finances, how they cut corners, and how they cut all of the expenses and underperforming sides of businesses and sporting enterprises. It does look like they're taking that into Manchester United right now, which is only good news for the football club. Guys, let's see what you want to say. Let's see what you've got to say, on this. I want to get your opinions on this now. Dobby says we should all sing and dance that Murtough is gone. We should, Dobby. Yes, I agree with you 100%, mate. He's like a dementor to this club. He sucked out all of the happiness and positivity. He was part of it. Not all in, but part of it. Karen says, I'm hoping Barada is absolutely ruthless. He is known for being ruthless, and I think that's why INEOS have got him in, Karen. I'm hoping exactly the same thing. Andrew Shaw, yes, Dobby, other clubs will find that United are no longer the mugs. Exactly. So what was the point in Murtough going over to bleeding Madrid and Barcelona then, eh? I knew that had nothing to do with him staying at the football club. And now all of them stories about him being in charge at the end of this season and going into the summer alongside Ten Hag. Now we're looking at it going, actually, that was just made up. And United were trying to deflect away from what they are really doing, which is getting people in place ready. Does that mean Ten Hag is safer than what we thought before? Or is his job even more at risk now with Murtough no longer being there? The sidekick to Ten Hag in every transfer window that we've had over the last 2 years is now gone. So it's Ten Hag on his own. I doubt that he will have sole power if he is still at the football club. And now looking like Barada will be head honcho in that situation alongside who? I don't think Wilcox is going to have much say. I mean, we're hearing that Wilcox will be the communication from the manager to Dan Ashworth / Barada. I think he will be the one and the voice that links the manager to the rest of the hierarchy at Manchester United. In order, I'm guessing. That was what was said the other week. So we can see that. So Ten Hag working closely with Jason Wilcox, it would look like. I think he's going to have closer relations with Wilcox and Dan Ashworth than he will any of the other team for INEOS. Obviously, everyone is going to be involved and everyone has to communicate. But in terms of day-to-days, I think you'll see Jason Wilcox working very closely with Ten Hag and having a big say. So that director's box is filling up quite nicely with more experienced and football brains, which is always a good thing for Manchester United and good for us fans that the club are actually looking like they want to take United forward on the pitch and not just off the pitch. They want to prioritise the really important things to the fans, which is actually supporting a team which actually is good enough. That's what you've got to say. United is taking shape now. Murtough out, Wilcox in. That's I know too says that. Thank you, mate. The monitor says Sir Radcliffe is proving his tenure bit by bit, but I still need to see the Glazers completely gone, as everyone does. Graves says, no, you can't make that comparison yet, but it's aimed at people who think the old boys club exists as a Friends Reunited group in name only. I think that was against someone else there, or talking to someone else in the chat. But guys, if you are watching this video after the live stream is finished, get your comments in, let me know what you think. Murtough is gone. Wilcox in the coming weeks before the end of the season. Ashworth next? We don't know. It can't be too far away. Guys, that is just your little update on what has happened. There isn't anything else to report on past that, but to round it up, like I said, John Murtough is gone this week. Wilcox will be in the coming weeks. We don't know about Dan Ashworth, but this is all positive for Manchester United. INEOS making bigger and bigger splashes as we get closer to the end of this season. That is what is important. That's what we need to look at as fans. Over 100 likes in just that short live stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it wasn't scheduled, but we are going to bring you the important breaking news as it comes every single time, guys. So stay tuned for anything else. Be close to your devices for when it does break. Make sure you subscribe to Forever United TV for all of your breaking news and Manchester United stories coming out. That is me done and dusted, guys. Thank you so much for joining me again. And I still will be back at 6:30 tonight, guys, for the evening show, where we probably get a little bit more detail on what we've just been talking about as well. So get yourself settled in for that one, and I'll join you all later. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. I will see you later this evening.